Karl Marx begins his philosophy of communism by explaining his philosophy of materialism. The theory of materialism claims that only matter exists in the universe. Everything that you see in the universe or that exists in any way in the universe is physical. That is the doctrine of materialism, and that is the doctrine of Marx. It's important to keep that in mind as he explains his doctrine of communism, because everything is beholden to that idea. It is also important to point out that the materialism that Marx presents, it's in opposition to the theory of idealism. The idealism in the time of Marx can be found most prominently in the philosophy of Immanuel Kant. An idealist claims that the ultimate reality, those things that are most real in the world, are the ideas in the mind. And the physical reality that you see around you, well, that's illusory. That's not as known as the concepts or the ideas in the mind. Marx holds that type of philosophy in contempt because he's a materialist. What you see first in the world are physical things. That is the ultimate reality. Marx claims that he is beginning from premises that are not arbitrary. They're not dogmas. These are real premises. They are based on physical reality. He is going to be starting from physical human beings and what they physically do in the world. This is why he says the first premise of all human history is the existence of living human individuals. And Marx, from this initial premise, is going to attempt to explain the physical organization of these individuals and the relationship that they have to the other physical things in the world. For Marx, the ultimate expression of a human being's physical reality is what they produce in the world and how they produce it. This is because human beings are dependent upon how they earn their living, how they eat, how they drink. The labor of the human being is of the utmost importance. For Karl Marx, morality, religion, politics, they are all determined by economic conditions. They have no independent history on their own. All the thinking of human beings is based on the physical, economic realities. So whatever your morals are, whatever your religion is, whatever your philosophy happens to be, it is a product of the economic conditions in which you find yourself. According to Marx, there are no moral or ethical philosophies that are the same for all cultures. This is known as cultural relativism or moral relativism. According to moral relativism, there are no overarching moral principles that are valid for all cultures. The people in power, they are the ones who are implementing the particular morals that they have. This is the relativism. This is why Marx says that the ideas of the ruling class, that is, the class which is the ruling material force of a society, is at the same time its ruling intellectual force. The ruling ideas, they're nothing more than the intellectual manifestation of the dominant material relationships. So whoever owns all the stuff in a society, whoever owns the means of production, they are the ones who can implement their ideas. Marx also claims that human beings become mere objects when the things that they produce are no longer under their possession. This is what Marx calls the alienation of labor. When a human being is employed by some company, the more efficient that company becomes, the more that human being is separated from the things that human being is producing. So the faster a human being can work in an assembly line and produce some product, the more products become available, the more that individual is alienated from those products. Marx says, under these economic conditions, this realization of labor appears as loss of realization for the workers. So the workers, not only do they not possess the things they are producing, but the more efficient industry becomes, the less the worker feels attached to the ends of the production, and the more there is an estrangement. This, for Marx, is an utter distortion of labor. What gives a human being their dignity is good work. Remember, for Marx, this is pretty much the essence of a human being, their economic productivity. And so to take away the goal of your work, that is the thing that's produced, I mean, this is a great travesty, according to Marx. The reason it is such a great travesty is based on the materialism. For Marx, all there is the physical reality. So the product of someone's labor, that's one of the most important things that you can ever do in your life. So to not be able to enjoy the fruits of one's labor, this loss of a physical reality is one of the worst things that can happen to someone. This is the objectification of labor. Human beings who are laboring are now objects. They are now mere commodities. Why are they mere commodities? Why are they merely objects? Because they don't even get to keep the objects of their production. Someone else has appropriated the fruits of their labor. They are estranged. They are alienated from the products they produce. And this alienation of the worker from their end product is a great offense against nature. The consequences of this alienation of labor is a loss of personal dignity. According to Marx, capitalism creates this type of divisiveness. In capitalism, those who own the means of production, they have all the power. So there is no true free market. There is always somebody manipulating and creating unfair conditions. The rectification only happens when the working class or the proletariat decide to overthrow the ruling class and have a revolution. Marx places great emphasis on this idea of a revolution. A revolution is necessary because the essence of a human being is being violated. What is the essence of the human being that is being violated? Their work, their production. This is of utmost importance to Marx because he's a materialist. And the physical things that someone possesses, that's the most important thing for a materialist. So the essence of a human being is wrapped up in the physical, material things of the world.